everyone, welcome to OptiSphere, a podcast channel brought to you by Opti Consult Me. I'm your host Neha Chaurasia, and today we have a fantastic guest with us, Mr. Rupam Sinha. With over 16 years in optometry, he has vast experience in retail, hospitals, corporate training, and much more. Currently, he is a myopia lead in Zeiss, and today we are going to delve into interesting topics such as myopia management, contact lenses, training, and much more. So we welcome Mr. Rupam Sinha for the conversation. So let's start the conversation. So let us welcome our guest for today, Mr. Rupam Sinha.
Well, thank you for having me in here.
Hello, sir. So, sir, having such a vast experience and a journey where you have grown from being a normal optometrist to a field expert, explore corporates, hospitals, and retail. How your journey has unfolded you to become what you are today in this field?
Thank you for that question. And well, I did not choose optometry. Optometry chose me, right? It was by choice that optometry was choosing me and not me choosing optometry. So I always wanted to go to police, but I landed up in optometry. But when I landed up in optometry, the core why I wanted to be in police still remained the same, and that core was of service. I can still give service to human beings. And that's how I came into optometry. And once I came into optometry, it was amazing. Every single day was amazing. Every single phase of optometry that I passed through was absolutely amazing. So I just enjoyed being an optometrist. I'm very proud to be an optometrist. If given a chance, I would have been nothing apart from an optometrist. Well, I started off with an internship from Bausch & Lomb when I was in third year of my college, right? I started from there. I was traveling, I was inserting or rather applying contact lenses and removing contact lenses from people's eyes in a retail setup. That's what I did for quite some time, and then I learned that I only know about contact lenses and nothing else.
Okay.
Then I left everything and went to Dr. Shroff Charity Eye Hospital for internship so that I learned more about disease and the eye. So it started from there, and Shroff was one of the most important phase of my life because I met so many amazing teachers and I learned so many things from Shroff that it changed my perspective towards optometry. And then things came on and I just took them up because I wanted to work in every single field of optometry because I thought that every single field of optometry had something new to give and would allow me the opportunity to be of greater service to the patients, and it really did, all of it. The hospital, the retail, the academics, the trainings, everything has made me such important, given me so much of learnings that I really love every aspect of optometry. But it started from a corporate job, moved into a hospital, and then again hospital, retail, corporates.
Okay, so this brings up me with a thought that you have been into corporates, you have been into trainings, and you have been into retail, okay? And you say that we should explore each and every field of optometry. Now I have a lot of my colleagues where they specialize in one subject of optometries. I also believe that we should explore, but most of us feel that हमको एक चीज़ में expert होना है, ठीक है? और क्या हमें एक चीज़ को पकड़ के चलनी चाहिए ऑप्टोमेट्री में कि हम इसमें एक्सपर्टाइज करेंगे और इसमें हम एक्सपर्ट हो जाएंगे, या फिर जैसे आपने बोला कि हमने सारा एक्सप्लोर किया हुआ है तो उसको कैसे हम समझें कि हमें सब जगह जाना है या फिर हमें एक चीज़ में एक्सपर्ट होना है?
वेल, टू स्टार्ट विथ आपको पहले सब कुछ एक्सप्लोर करनी चाहिए. द रीजन बिहाइंड इट इज इफ यू आर एन एक्सपर्ट एट वन थिंग, यू आर ट्रीटिंग द डिजीज, नॉट द पेशेंट. If you really want to treat the patient, you have to first get exposure for yourself about various aspects that it offers. And then you can become a specialist on one particular thing. But whatever you do, you have to first learn how to treat the patient and not the disease. And for that, you require multiple exposure. One single exposure will only teach you to take care of that one particular disease and not the patient.
Yeah, okay. So you say that we need to explore each and every field and then get into speciality.
Yes.
Of our interest.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So now my next question comes in here that we have a lot of kids in our country with the population of, like in Mumbai itself, we have 1.8 million children below the age, in the schooling age, below the age of 15. Now what we see here that they're exposed to a lot of gadgets near work, and that has been a concern with the parents as well, right? With with this, the myopia has been growing, and we know that by 2050, half of the world's population will become myopic. Now, with this growing epidemic, and you being the myopia management expert in Zeiss, at the forefront of tackling this problem. So, what do you feel are the challenges, particularly in our country, to solve this cause? And what can we do better?
Well, I'll break this into three parts. So the first part is awareness. Most of the parents forget myopia, right? Most of the parents don't even know when to take their kids for their eye test. If it is a premature kid, the first eye test should have happened in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Then first year, third year, fifth year, and then every year thereafter. So this awareness itself is not there. And when we see kids, it's from a school screening camp when the damage is already done. So that awareness is something which is very, very important. Second is lifestyle. So there are few parents who follows a very good holistic lifestyle for the kids, but most of us are unaware again of what is the right lifestyle for a kid. So basically 2 hours in the sun is most important thing in a day.
Okay.
So in the entire day, the kid should be spending 2 hours outdoors in the sun. That's the most important thing. Secondly, the child should be physically active, intense to moderately active physically for at least 60 minutes in a day. And digital devices should be used as per age. So if you're below 2 years, no digital device. 2 to 5 years, 1 hour of digital device. Bigger and farther is better. And last but not the least, if you are 5 to 95 years of age, which we both fall into, 2 hours of additional recreational digital device usage. That means after your work, you are supposed to just use it for 2 more hours and not beyond that.
Okay.
And the third part is what we have forgotten is that the kid will always learn by observing their parents. So the parents has to be getting a digital detox first for the kid to move down or put down their phones. So that's very, very important how the parents shows the path for the kid. Because if you really think about yourself, you are an amalgamation of all the imitations you have done from the people you love and the people you hate. We all learn by imitating and not by reading, right? So the kid is also learning by imitating. So how does the parents behave is something which is very, very important.
Okay.
So awareness and lifestyle and periodic eye testing and lack of awareness about eye health is one of the most major concerns that our country is facing now.
Yeah, when you say this about the parents, detoxing the parents is important. To counseling the parents is very important. But most of the parents currently are doing work from home. What I know about, and they tell me, the patients come to me and they tell me that our kids are engaged in the gadgets because we are busy working for our work, and it is important. What should we do? Like, we have to give them gadget to eat. We have to give them some kind of mobile timing. Give us some time, okay? How much time is healthy and how much time is not, even for a small kid?
Well, first, the type of parents you told me is about permissive parenting. So there are 4 types of parenting that can happen: authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful, right? And most of the parents you are meeting nowadays, or rather we are meeting nowadays, are permissive. That let me do my work, here is the phone for you. Let me do my work, here is a packet of Lays for you. Let me do the work, here is a Cadbury for you, right? Now this is permissive because we are just allowing the kid to do something. We're giving permission so that my life is settled and I am able to do my work unhindered, right? Now the part of it is, if this happens, the problem with the timing will be that the kid will not listen to you after a certain age or after a certain period of time. So you have to become an authoritative parent. That means you have to set rules in the house. That when I'm working on my desktop or laptop, my kid is supposed to draw. Or when I am on a phone call in my house, I am walking and my kid is walking along with me.
Okay.
So when you take away the mobile phone from the kid, you have to give something in return. And the best thing that is already there is your presence in the house because you are working from home. So give that time to them, but set rules and boundaries. That after work, daddy and mommy is not going to touch their phone. Or we're not going to sit in this laptop, or we're not going to watch television together. We are going to go out and walk. We are going to sit in the sun and eat our food. Even when daddy is taking a call, we'll still be on the sun and eating our food together. So that is an authoritative parenting. Authoritarian is my way or your way, or the highway. So there is no your way, it's my way or the highway. That's the authoritarian type of parenting. And then you have neglectful parenting, which you have all seen in YouTube reels and all, that the mother is busy making a YouTube reel and the kid is going towards the highway, right? So that's a neglectful parenting. So permissive parenting is very, very dangerous because the kid learns that, oh, whatever I need, I'll get.
Yeah.
That builds dopamine in their body, in their head, and then the dopamine keeps on rising, and they will crave for more and more. And once they keep on craving more and more, you can't change this after they have crossed 7 years of age. So you better take it now, or you will never be able to rectify the mistake that you have done now,
Yeah.
just to satisfy your work.
I think discipline what makes it different.
Discipline and frameworks of rules in the house.
Yeah.
And that rule are non-negotiable rule even for anybody who walks into the house. That when we take a phone call, my kid works along with me. When we are eating, we are focused on the eating, we are not seeing a digital device.
Yeah.
When it is outdoor, it is sunny, all the family goes and sits outdoors. We all take a walk in the park without a shoes in our feet.
Grounding.
Nobody in the house talks louder. We eat only processed and packet food only on Sundays. These are rules. This can't be changed. So if you put a rule framework, no matter how busy you are, your kids will follow the rule if you follow them yourselves.
Practicing what you preach, basically. So we understood, okay, this is the way to prevent maybe myopia. If suppose, today we know the parenting styles are permissive or neglectful, how do you actually come up with solutions to manage myopic epidemic which is happening? Like, we have so much of going on right now for myopia management. These are the brands what we need to use, this is the correction what we need to do. What exactly we should do about it once the child gets myopic?
Well, once the child gets myopic, the first and foremost is do a proper eye testing for the kid. Find out why the child is myopic, where the myopia is coming from. Is the binocular vision all right? How is the kid's lifestyle? And is there any therapy or any exercise that can reduce this myopia in their eyes if it is coming from something else? Or is it coming from some disease? Are we teaching the disease? So there are two ways I say it. Most of the time we are jumping to solve the myopia with an intervention. But let us find out why that myopia is happening in the first place.
Cause.
Now, if it is a progressive myopia, which we are all worried about, because progressive myopia will give a lot of sight-threatening diseases in the future. For that, we have now optical interventions, we have pharmaceutical interventions, and anyway the kid is wearing a glasses. There are glasses which can slow down the progression of myopia. And if you really see, of all the retrospective studies that has ever been done, all the optical interventions has quite similar efficacy. And even if you see the claims from the companies, it's still something between 63 to 70%. So it's not a huge difference. But put the kid into something which is really, really beneficial for the kids if it is a progressive myopia.
Okay.
And coming to that, there are 5 A's of how you treat any pandemic. The first one is accessibility. The second one is affordability. Then whether it is accepted and whether it is appropriate and whether it is adaptable. Then based on these 5 things, you choose your intervention option, which one to choose.
When you talk about progressive myopia, so what is progressive myopia? Like, is it coming from the parents, or progression is what amount of progression we say it is a myopia is progressive in case?
Myopia used to come from parents. Now this can be the first generation who are getting myopic in nature as well. So myopia is associated with genetics. It is hereditary in nature, and if one parent is myopic, the kid will have at least 3 times more chance to have a myopia compared to both parents who does not have any power in the eye. Both parents are myopic, the kid is 7 times more prone to have a myopia in the eye. But now it is also the nature of their work that they're doing. So this might be the first generation who is completely glued to a digital device, does not go out to play, have no sun exposure onto the body, will also get myopia, right? So it can be the first generation itself as well.
Okay.
Now when we talk about myopia progression, we see it that below 10 years, the eyes emmetropizes faster.
Okay.
Right, so any change more than 0.75 diopters is a progressive myopia in a year.
Okay.
And after that, the eye slows down till 16.3 years. The eyes are growing, right? So for the next half, anything which is again more than 0.5 diopters is a progression in myopia every year.
Okay.
So we can see that. So if we are unable to check the axial length, then at least the diffractive error is a good indication for that. Anything more than 0.75 is a progressive myopia over a period of a year. So change the lifestyle of the kid and put the kid onto an intervention.
Right.
And if the parents are also myopic, you should start even faster.
Earlier. What I understood from here is that we have to get our eyes tested regularly, especially for the children. Okay, now coming to this, as you have already mentioned that eye is the window to memory. So how do you club this, like the vision testing and the eye testing? How does it affects the cognitive abilities, especially in children?
Well, it starts from a very, very young age. So initially, this is your prefrontal cortex that develops much later. So even if you yell at a 3-year-old kid, they will not understand why you're yelling because this is not developed. But they can understand texture. They can understand how to touch things and find out what is the texture of that thing, and that is associated also with the vision that they see. So everything that when you start learning from the very young age, where you're seeing things, you are learning things, you are seeing colors. So the first thing that starts is through your vision, because 80% of your learning is through your vision, and 80% of your memory making is also through your vision. So as your brain develops, your vision gives the biggest impulse into the brain, right? And your brain develops based on those impulses. So what is the impulse you want to give is very, very important. Now, because 80% of your learning is through your eyes and 80% of your memory making is through your eyes, what you learn, what you consume is very, very important. Are you consuming something which is good, or are you consuming something which is not good for you, is to be determined by the parents. And that's why apps has parental locks, mobiles have passwords, so that the kid does not consume something bad. So when the consumption is important, what type of consumption and from where they're consuming, and how fast paced is that consumption is something which is very, very important. So for kids, things should be very, very slow and not fast. However, I was reading that most of the online videos that are made, even if they're very child friendly, they're made in such a way that the child should not be able to move their eyes from that content. They're there, and when the child moves their eyes from the content, there are special sounds or colors that is introduced so that the child is glued to that. So they're all a lot of high impulse to them, and that high impulse leads to a highly fluctuating individual when they grow up in terms of their mood.
Yeah.
So what they consume is very, very important.
Correct. What I understand is, for a child or for a adult, both of them, vision testing is important. Eye testing is really, really very important, and it is time now to do an eye test. So I would request all our viewers that go and get your eyes tested today. Let's come to the part which I am very close to, which is training. And what I adore so much about the training is, but the first training which I attended was of yours, when you were part of a contact lens company and you came in and you were explaining something in very simple language, and you made the complex stuff look very easy. How do you do that? Like, what is a mantra for a good training program, and how do you break out this complexity, complex topics like myopia management, contact lenses, optics, into simpler versions, and how do you do that?
Well, the first is the trainer themselves, like how the trainer should be themselves. So the first thing that I would always tell a trainer is be authentic in nature. Whoever you are, don't be shy away from it. Be whoever you are, be as authentic as possible. Second is be kind to the audience. It is any training is not about how much you know, but how much the audience wants to know from you. Most of the time, trainings are done in such a way that I'll tell the audience how much I know. It's not that. It's how much they need to know and how much they want to know. So show that kindness towards your audience. The third thing is curious. If you're not curious, you're not learning enough. Fourth thing is be open-minded and flexible. Value the other person's perspective as well. And fifth is keep learning yourselves. The more you learn, you will be able to simplify things. The more you are able to simplify things, your audience will get connected with you. And give real-time examples. That's one of the most important thing in any training. And your training should be such that if I am attending your training and I am going out of the door, I should be able to implement it right away. That's the most successful form of training. And not that I have to go and consult 4 more books after this training and I can't use it in real time. So the moment the training is done, it is implementable as well. That's what makes training much more easier and much more understandable for the audience and much more relevant for the audience as well. So the trainer's approach and the training simplicity is something which is very, very important.
Can you share some real-time examples? For example, we are talking about contact lenses. तो हम contact lens को simple में अगर real-time example में हम क्या बोलेंगे? This is all for the trainers there.
Of course. So contact lenses, basically what we are talking about, biggest part of contact lenses is oxygen, right? Modulus, contact angle, and the material. So simply take as a high oxygen contact lenses to be a shirt, and a low oxygen contact lenses or DK by T as a raincoat. A low modulus contact lenses as as your cotton shirt as it drapes around your body. A high modulus contact lenses to be a raincoat. Right? The water content has to be more and the contact angle has to be less.
Great.
Imagine same thing in form of a shirt and a raincoat. The shirt has more water content, it will hold more water and the water is going to spread on the shirt. So contact angle as well as water content. A raincoat will throw off the water and it will not absorb any water and it will not keep water within itself.
Yeah.
So you can always use analogies like this shirt and raincoat even for understanding the different aspects or properties of a contact lenses as you go in the training. So how do you use it? So the moment the person sees a shirt every day in the morning, they know, okay, this is what the contact lens property I would like to have in my patient's eyes. So these analogies are very, very important. How do you give it? I would like to add something on the previous topic is what we train. The trainer is also going to talk to the same thing to the patients as well. What the trainer speaks, the trainee also talks the same thing to the patients. So how well you speak as a trainer to your trainees will translate into how they speak to their patients, and it has to be relevant for the patients. So all of our training has to be patient centric than the trainee centric in nature.
So when we are dealing with the patients and the trainees, we need to, like I conclude, that we need to break down into the relatable things and not get into complexity. So this is one thing which we are learning today, that no medical jargons for the patient.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yes. So now when we talk about training and teaching our patients, teaching our trainees, I have one engaging activity which we do for dispensing optics. Now let us talk about this, that dispensing is a subject less spoken about.
Yep.
Let's and not all, most of our optometrists, they don't prefer getting into retails and dispensing. Nowadays it has been in trend, but I have not seen during our time that we wanted to get into retail. We always wanted to be in the hospitals. So what is it not being spoken more, but there in the market for long? What excites an optometrist, or what we should do to make it better, like for dispensing or getting into optics and dispensing?
Well, the first thing probably for dispensing is to learn the patient's lifestyle. That is one thing is missing from dispensing. We sell a product because we have it and not because the person needs it. And I always used to say for contact lenses that find the contact lenses for the eyes and not eyes for the contact lenses you have on the shelves. Right? So first is lifestyle dispensing is something which is very, very important. Second part of it is imagine you do the best refraction in the world. If the dispensing itself is wrong, the patient is not benefited. So if you really want to give a real-time service to a patient, it will only happen when the dispensing is correct. And who do you trust more than a person who is at least educated for 4 and more years to do a proper dispensing? To understand the material, to understand the frame, to understand the nose pad, to understand the temple length. Dispensing is not easy. Dispensing is an art. And every spectacle that you dispense as an optometrist, it is your artistry that you are putting out in the world, in somebody's face. And I think that's life changing.
Yeah.
If refraction is good, then dispensing is the later half of that good. That's the best part of it, because that's what the patient is going to carry home and wear it for probably the next 1 to 2 years that is going to come. So I think dispensing is something where you can leave your mark into. Dispensing is where you can help the patient to get the right kind of frames, right kind of lenses, right kind of fitting for their face, and that is going to say that, oh, this frame looks so beautiful on your face, where did you got it from? And then the patient comes back to you.
Talking about dispensing optics, and a lot of us refrain ourselves thinking that it is not our cup of tea. And most of us are like, initially we are introverts and we don't want to speak to the patient and we can't go on the floor. Like, हमारा तो काम तो clinic का ही है, right? Optometrist, as an optometrist, we are doctors, we have to be inside the clinic. But what is your go-to advice for these optometrists who are introverts and but want to learn and be in retail but not explore? Like, maybe they want to explore but they are a little afraid, or because they are less of confidence. How do they grow in this career? Whereas we see somebody who is an extrovert, not so smart, climbing the ladders, but an introvert, be it in hospital, be it in retail, they shy off and उनका ग्रोथ कहीं ना कहीं रुक जाता है. So how do we do manage these like what is your advice to these optoms?
Well, I'll break it into two parts. First, let's take introvert part. And when you're introvert, you are slightly hesitant in facing people face to face. So stand beside the patient and start the conversation. And don't start with big talks. Start with very small talks. Once the conversation starts, introverts are good communicators as long as they're not standing face to face with the customer or the patient, whichever way you put it. So stand by the side and ask how was your day today?
Okay.
Or did you watch the match last night?
Okay.
Or are you interested in cricket?
Okay.
Are you interested in Batman? Whatever is your question. So once they say yes, you find a common ground. An introvert can speak equally well. Second part of it is the introvert has to think that why are you in a retail? You are in a retail because you can change somebody's life real time, help them in making memories and help them in learning throughout their life by taking care of their eyewear. Eyewear and eye care. So that is your bigger purpose and goal. So for that you need to speak to this person, to understand this person so that you can give them the best eyewear and best eye care. So this conversation is necessary. But I understand that introverts will have a problem if they're face to face with somebody because that's energy draining for them.
Okay.
So just stand beside the patient and speak. Look at the shelves and start speaking. That's the best way to start a conversation, and small talks in the beginning, and then you can gradually build up on that conversation.
So basically, they have to break the ice by starting into getting into a conversation with normal questions,
Yes.
and then get into the actual event.
And don't face the person.
Don't face the person. That's interesting. So yes, if you are an introvert, you have to stand side by side. Okay.
And know your why. Why are you there?
Yeah.
And you're making real time, modification in somebody's life. You're helping somebody real time by giving them the best of eye care.
So yes, so this is a great advice, I would say. Now coming to your favorite topic, contact lenses.
Yes.
We have seen contact lenses evolve over the years, with new technologies coming in, and many patients opting for refractive procedures like LASIK. That is talk of the town. How do you see this, ever-changing landscape, the changing landscape in contact lens practice? What will be your advice to upscale our contact lens practice? What I see here is that contact lenses, maybe I'm wrong, you can correct me, contact lenses is going a downscale. What we can do better as an optometrist to upscale our contact lens practice?
Well, the first thing again, we'll start off probably, this will sound like a broken record, but start with lifestyle. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Second part of it is, yes, you are right, the contact lens industry has not grown over the years because what we are trying to dispense is only comfort and not lifestyle. So you have to shift from comfort and move into lifestyle. That's another important aspect of dispensing a contact lenses. And the first pair of contact lenses has to be the best pair of contact lenses. What we normally do is we start off with a very basic contact lenses, which is not good in terms of its feature advantage and benefit to the patients, and we say you try on this.
Yeah.
So the first lens, if it is bad, I always have the idea that the lens itself is bad. And patients don't explore different contact lens options, they just drop out from the category itself. They don't try contact lenses anymore. So the first contact lenses you are giving has to be the best contact lenses. So the patient knows that if I am price sensitive, I am compromising on these aspects myself. But contact lenses are not like this. I have seen the best of contact lenses. So once you start with the best, the patient normally don't go back and they normally stay in the category for a longer duration of time.
Yeah.
Now that's the first part. And when you talk about LASIK, right? LASIK will happen over a period of once the kid has turned 18 or 19, at least when their power progression has slowed down. Start your patients young. Put them into a contact lenses much more earlier and talk about contact lenses to all of your patients, including presbyopic patients. There is a huge scope for that. We are not speaking about it. And just imagine you walking into an optical store. What is the communication you see about contact lenses? There is almost nothing. A few boxes, which I might, mistake as tablets. A few bigger bottles, which might be tonics. As a layman, how do I know what is that? So unless and until you strike a conversation with me, you find out what are the problems that I'm having with my existing eyewear, you will never be able to introduce contact lenses to me.
Yeah.
And when you introduce the contact lenses, the first one has to be the best one for me. And then I know I'm compromising on money, so I'm compromising on such features, advantage and benefits of the contact lenses.
So how do we do the branding? What I got from here is like we don't see like for spectacles हम देखते हैं कि इतनी बड़ी बड़ी होर्डिंग्स लगे हैं, branding है, there is a model ambassadors and all those things. But for contact lenses we don't. How do we actually get into branding for local retailers, for optometrists? How we get into the at a cost-effective branding for our contacts?
So your cost-effective branding is your words.
Okay.
Is there sometimes you wish you could have seen without your glasses? That's the biggest trigger. And I will say yes, when I normally go out in the rain, I don't like my glasses. Or like when I go into sports, I don't like my glasses. When I go into gym, I don't like my glasses. When I'm going to a marriage party, I don't like my glasses because my glasses is not complementing my dress. Right? So the first most cost effective advertisement is a question that if you were to remove your glasses and still see clearly, what are those occasions? And how often do you feel that you should have seen clearly without your glasses? Okay. That's your first conversation starter for a contact lenses. Secondly, put the word contact lenses somewhere in your store. That's a conversation starter. Or even you can just start like, want to see clearly without your glasses, without an operational intervention? Ask us.
Yeah, this is a tagline.
Yes. So, do you want to remove your glasses without the hassle of a surgery? Ask us. So, and it should not be a brand specific. It should be the patient specific. And then it's a conversation starter and you can start off that. Plus, if you know the patient's lifestyle, you know a wedding is coming up, an interview is coming up, or they are going to play golf, or they brought a new car which now they want to really drive faster. Then you can always ask them that for this particular occasion, I would love you to have a different eyewear. So why don't you try this contact lenses?
Great. I think for all the contact lens practitioner, soft contact lenses, we don't speak about a lot, but branding and mouth publicity, talking about it is very important. So we got a go-hand tip that put a hoarding of contact lenses, start practicing and give the best one in the first time.
And if I may add to that, I'll just give a practical example.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think is the most important thing for a grandparent who has just become grandparents? What is the most important thing for them?
The child.
The child,
Yeah.
right? What happens when you pick up the child onto your lap? They will take the glasses and throw it off.
Yeah.
Right?
The first thing they do.
Now I can't see my heritage, right? And neither I can take them into a park. Why don't you try a contact lenses? Your progressive contact lenses, your multifocal contact lenses will not require 6x6 or N6 because I can see the kid's face and I can take the kid onto a park.
Correct.
So this is how if you know their lifestyle, you know they become grandparents, you know their real life problem, you can always pitch in a contact lenses and it is accepted very well.
Yeah, I think it is great example that we talk about the lifestyle of the patient or customer, what we say in the retail. So go for it, guys. Now let us delve into optometry and its technologies. Like now in the coming future, when we are talking about technology taking over optometry, or how do we tackle this upcoming rise in the AI and teleoptometry and other techniques, other technologies. So how do you understand from your perspective that how these are evolving and shaping up the future of optometry, or how it is a threat?
Well, AI is never a threat, right? Creation can never be a threat to the creator. You have to first understand human creates AI. AI works in the limitation of our understanding of subjects. As we evolve, as we grow as optometrists, and if we are able to keep the patient and the practitioner connect, or the customer and the retailer connect, there is no AI to replace that. As human beings, we are probably the loneliest ever human beings that has ever lived in this planet. But now we are seeking a lot to get bonding with other human beings. So if you have that human connect, and if you are constantly learning yourself, you are constantly keeping yourself in education, and you are learning newer techniques, AI will never replace you. However, AI is very, very good, like teleoptometry you said. For patients who cannot access eye care, for them it is the best. And the part of it is that technologies will evolve over time. It will come, but it can never change a human, because it can never replace a human rather, because human beings are the creators and that's the creation. How do we use the creation for betterment of human? How to reach more and more people is what we are looking for. So it is never a threat. It's never a threat if you know your job. If it's never a threat if you have upgraded and upskilled yourself in your job. But if you're stuck, you don't like your job, you don't like speaking to patients, you don't like to know lifestyle and give them real time, feature advantage benefit laden solutions to their life, AI will take over you for over a period of time. But if you're constantly evolving, AI will also evolve. You will go to the next step, AI is going to come and take your step. You're going to go to the next step, AI is going to come and take your step. But AI is never going to replace a human being, because the field we are in is a field of service. AI can never replace that, and it's a field where there is a huge amount of human connection that is required, because somebody is having a problem and they have came to a human being to seek solution and validation. That AI can't give. AI can still give solution, but it can't give a human validation. So if you keep your training game on, if you keep your learning game on, you are very, very safe. And AI is good because it is helping the masses.
So AI is good.
Of course.
Okay. So what advice you will give to your younger self?
Well, to be very honest, the diplomatic answer would have been I have loved every aspect of my life and I would have changed nothing about it. But the only advice I could have given myself is to become much more financially wise. I am still not. I still spend a lot of money. I still don't save a lot of money. And if I would have started saving earlier, I would have a lot of money now. But I don't. I'm completely broke because I've not saved earlier, right? So the only advice I could have given to my younger self, and probably the advice I would like to give to young people out there who are getting into jobs, please save your money. Please invest wisely, and money can grow on its own when you are sleeping. You don't have to work hard every time to grow your money. So that is the only advice I would have given. Invest early, invest cleverly, fail early, learn wisely, adapt wisely with your money.
I think this is a great advice. All of us face this, I think, investment and savings and all that, and we should start early. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful advice. Where do you see India's future in optometry in the upcoming years?
Well, not to be too diplomatic and not to be too rude on the matter, I think we have a great responsibility in our hand as seniors to train our juniors how to become better optometrists, how to be able to dispense better, and selling is not bad. Everybody is selling something or the other. Right? When I'm asking my daughter not to use the mobile phone, I'm selling my concept to her. So selling is not bad. Selling is mutually beneficial for both the patients and or the customer and the seller or the optometrist. And the sale is a transaction between two human beings where AI will not take your role. Right? Sales depends on trust, and how do we create that trust? How do we do a lifestyle based dispensing? And how much we are able to learn now, implement it, and learn from that again and relearn. So training is something which has to be constant throughout our life. I am still under some form of training, and I will be till the time I die, because unless and until I learn, I'll never be able to give it to my patients.
Put some light on, you've been into so much of learning. I've been seeing you. You're currently now an Ikigai coach. So can you put some light on that why did you choose that, and what is that the key learning out of Ikigai? If you can share with our audience.
Oh, of course. So the reason why first I chose Ikigai was how to counsel parents for myopic kids.
Okay.
And I knew the disease, I knew the refractive error, I knew what to speak to the parents, but how to incorporate it in their life was something I did not know. And Ikigai is basically finding your purpose again and again and again in your life. That's why I wanted to take up Ikigai coaching, so that I am able to teach the parents in better ways how to adopt myopia management and how to change the lifestyle of the kid without being too much harsh on the kid or to themselves. And that's why I took Ikigai as a subject, and then of course I became a certified coach a few days back. But the reason of it was that. So the problem is myopia, but the bigger concern is the lifestyle. And Ikigai could plug into that lifestyle change. So again, my biggest principle in life is don't treat the disease, treat the patient. If you are able to treat the patient, the disease is taken care of automatically. And you are giving way for a much more conscious human beings who will again go and teach other people how to avoid the disease from coming in their eyes or their body, whichever way you think, like that. And that's why the training is so important. If you think about contact lenses, Probably the most important thing in a contact lenses is to know the motivator and the barrier of each and every patient, and to remove that barrier and enhance that motivator so that they can take contact lenses.
Yeah.
How easily can you teach somebody to apply a contact lenses in their eyes? Do you use the word insertion or apply?
Yeah.
Insertion is scary.
Yeah.
Apply is like makeup,
Ah.
right? Insertion is like an injection.
Yeah. Make it simple.
So yes, the choice of words and the choice of language is something which is very, very important.
Yeah.
And how do you talk about it?
Coming back to this, before starting the podcast, we were discussing on how, why, and what. So, for our young generation optometrists, what is the one advice what you give, for the future optometrists on through the Ikigai journey and your experiences? So, how do we get into our why, and how?
Well, to do that, first and foremost, thank you for mentioning why, how, and what. I am a huge fan of Simon Sinek, has always been throughout my life. And then Ikigai came into the picture, right? And in Ikigai says that there are 4 things that you can explore in your life. First is your passion, what you really love doing. Second is your talents, what are the skills you have. Third is how does your passion and talent helps the world in real time. And last is what you can be paid for. So, for example, you love singing?
Not really. I love dancing.
Good.
Okay.
So, at least you love dancing, right?
Yeah.
So, you love dancing. And what are your talents?
In terms of eye care, yeah, I'm an optometrist, so I do a fantastic refraction.
Perfect. What does the world needs?
Refraction, eye test, vision care.
As well as a bit of a happiness in form of art, which is dance. And what can you be paid for?
Eye test.
Eye test. So when you do an eye test, you find a myopic kid, you can still teach them a bit of an online dancing so that they're physically active for at least 60 minutes in a day.
Okay.
And that too in a fun way. So the amalgamation of all these circles is Ikigai. That's your why. So why is your purpose, cause and belief.
Okay.
How is your talents? And what is why you do that? The money. The thing that you can be paid for. So the first and foremost thing is to find out what really motivates you, what really drives you from inside. And that can be easily done if you are able to draw 4 circles of passion, talent, world needs and what you can be paid for, and see where they match. Start small and start with baby steps, reach a conclusion, start from there and then make it big. And it's an ongoing process. It's never fixed in life. It will change as you mature.
Okay. So I think this is one learning every one of us should take in, that what is our passion, what is our talent, and how we do it and what we get out of it. So thank you for this amazing, learning, what I will say, new something new which I have learned today. So coming to the next section of our podcast is that when you are an athlete, also a sports nutritionist, and we follow you for being passionate, being very active. So how do you club this with eye care? Like for optometrists, how do we take this holistic eye approach to overall well-being and taking care of the eye?
Well, a simple way to start off it is that if you are active for just 30 minutes in a day, physically active, you will be able to defer glaucoma, cataract, ARMD and Alzheimer's. So you can start from there. That's a good start as eye care practitioners.
Okay.
And if you're physically active over a period of time, you will also develop better character because your prefrontal cortex is going to develop as well, right? So that's why sports is something which is very, very important across ages. And if you see, you will be able to protect your body, you're going to be able to protect your mind, because we don't talk much about mental health nowadays. It is still a taboo in the society, but sports actually helps you to explore different aspects of your mental health and work on it as well. And probably you will find best of friends as athletes. Believe me, when you are in a long endurance sports like I do, you will find everybody helping each other without any expectation, without anything in return. So you'll find to be, a good community to be there. You will also find that there are many people who can actually benefit from your expertise.
Okay.
And over a period of time, once they take your services and your expertise, you will gain from that as well. So again, if I put it into the Ikigai, my passion is endurance sport. My talent is eye care. I know sports actually helps in eye care as well. So I can, put more emphasis on sports that way. I can do consultation because the world needs fit people and world needs people who can see properly. world will love us if we are able to defer cataract, glaucoma, Alzheimer's, because those are the burning issues that is also reducing the productivity in the world right now. Any report in healthcare industry is going to tell you about that. And then, can I be paid for my optometry services? Of course, if I give them a solution. So that's perfectly sits with my ikigai, my why.
So you've got your ikigai.
Oh yes, I have.
So how many years did you take to learn this?
8 years.
8 years, okay. So I think some of us will take lifetime to understand what is our why, but yes, it is important for now. So coming back to our last section, which is the surprise element of our today's talk. First of all, thank you for being a sport, and I'm going to put you in a situation today for a rapid fire question, and you'll have to just answer us, and the best rapid fire question will get you a surprise. So okay, if I give you a magic wand, and bring one innovation into optometry right now, what would it be?
Refraction skills.
Okay, how? Why?
I think we're lacking the basic refraction skills,
Okay.
and we are not correlating the symptoms with the signs, and we are not doing a very good job in the terms of refraction because we are much more dependent on machines than like our intelligence. So, and our learnings of optometry. So, a magic wand, I would love everybody to have the best refraction skills that they can possibly have as optometrists.
This is interesting. I think being innovative in refraction is important. So if you get a magic wand, definitely everybody learns refraction. Okay. So what's your go-to mantra or philosophy that keeps you grounded and focused?
See the positive in everything. There is positive in every single thing in this world.
Okay.
So I have trained myself again for the last 8 years to only see positive in things and not the negative. And believe me, in the last 8 years, only positive things has happened to me.
Okay, that's interesting. But being too optimistic, like when we say that we be positive, are we not neglecting the truth?
No. Now let me explain that to you. So being positive is acknowledging the truth and still staying positive. So I know I have been, say for example, you say something bad to me. Just for example, she's a very good lady. She will not do that ever. But anyway, if you say something bad to me, I acknowledge that you're saying something bad to me.
Yes.
But then I learn to understand your perspective of why you're saying that to me. And be so strong within myself that whatever you tell to me does not affect me in a negative way. It might inspire me to become better, but it should never inspire me to become a bad person.
Yeah.
Then I am making your opinion change me. So the acknowledgement of truth is very, very important. But also being positive is something which is very, very important. Optimism does not mean everything is good. Optimism means I know things are bad, but I know they will change for good for sure.
Yeah, this is a great advice.
So I'll work for that when the day you don't have to curse me anymore. I'll work towards that.
Yeah.
That's positivity. That's optimism.
Yeah, great. And what's one habit you swear by to stay motivated and maintain a positive outlook on your work?
The one habit is don't procrastinate. Get up and do it.
I think we keep on thinking कि कल करेंगे वो एक चीज़ हो जाती है कि हम कल perfect करेंगे.
So ask yourself, if tomorrow never comes,
Okay.
then what? Then you have just have today. Tomorrow nobody has seen. Yesterday nobody can relieve. So you just have today. Do it today.
Yeah, doing it right now is important. I think getting a task completed on time is very important than procrastinating, and we all do it. Okay, so one book, one podcast, or one resource every optometrist should explore, and what is it?
Simon Sinek,
Okay.
without a doubt, or Steve Bartlett, the daddy of a CEO. Just watch their podcasts. You will learn a lot about how human beings should conduct themselves in every situation. You will learn optimism as well from them. And the one book, if you ask me about optometry, is probably the man who mistook his wife for a hat. It's a neuro-optometry book, and it's a very interesting book to read actually, and understand from a patient perspective that what they see. And 6x6 is probably not what they see. It's what their mind makes them see. So these are my go-to is always Simon Sinek, without a doubt, at any given point of time.
This is nice. I think all of us have to go back and see the podcast from Simon Sinek. He is a trainer, right? Okay. Now, my last question for you is what advice you're going to give to our young generations? The final advice today, in today's time.
So most importantly, understand that everybody can win together. You don't have to put somebody down for yourself to win. There is space for everybody to win. Help somebody to win for you to win. and I'll tell you why. If you see the last stages of alcoholism, right? If I am able to leave alcoholism, right? Let us consider that I'm an alcoholic and I'm leaving alcoholism now, right? I'm getting de-addicted. Do you know the final step of that is to help somebody else de-addict?
Okay.
So helping somebody is actually helping yourself. So be kind to others, help somebody. If you are struggling with some subject, please go and teach your junior the same subject who are also struggling with that. You will learn a lot about it.
Yeah.
So look into the positivity of the things, be kind, be curious, and help somebody in real time to help yourself.
I think this is one of the greatest advice, that do not pull down on anyone and try to
The top,
do good for others.
absolutely, the top need not be lonely. The top can be very fun place to be in, right? And everybody has a place to climb over there. There are so many avenues. As young optometrists, we think, no, if I don't get this job, and what is going to happen? If I don't talk about this person, that person is going to take my job. If that person is going to take your job, that means you are not capable enough. Please work on your capabilities rather than pulling that person down.
Yeah.
And there is enough space on the top. And you have seen that now, even yourself as a trainer of so many years of journey working in various fields, you have seen that there is enough place on the top.
Yeah.
And you don't have to fight. We can all live harmoniously. And how do we propagate about optometry and its betterment in India is very, very important. And that is only going to happen when we all are on the top and we all are peaceful with each other and we are respectful to each other and we are helping each other out when there is a need.
Okay, so thank you for the great learning. And when we talk about optimistic and being good and space for everyone, we see this hassle in the corporate world. A lot of people are scared कि अभी corporate में घुस गए और ये problem होगा वो problem होगा. How do we manage with this outlook of everybody's growth, our growth as well? How do we manage tackle this?
Well, first and foremost, you have to understand why are you in that corporate. What is your main goal for that corporate? Let us take as you have joined as an optometrist. So your main goal is your customer or patient satisfaction. Work towards that. You don't have to depend on anybody. You don't have to make allies to do that. Whenever the patient or the customer comes to you, they should leave that place satisfied. Over a period of time, you will be obviously valued for this because your patient or customer will come by your name. And then people fall in place. What happens is normally, initially when we join corporate, we want everybody to come and praise us in the very beginning. That is not going to happen. You want to get a recognition within 1 year. That is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Yeah.
But do what you are meant to do. Do what you are hired to do with utmost sincerity. Over a period of time, people will acknowledge your contribution. And if you really want to change something, first do it and show it yourself. Be on the floor. Yeah. Change it. If you really want somebody to change that dispensing, first demonstrate it yourself and then show it. And then ask them to do it. And if possible, be the most lovable person in the organization. Be the kindest.
Yeah, okay.
You can still be, an optometrist, but you can still serve water to the patient. It does not take away anything from you because your ultimate goal is to satisfy that person who has walked into your store. So how you do that is something which is very, very important. The thing you are hired for, please do 100 or probably 110% of that. Give the patient and the customer satisfaction. Recognition will come on its way. If your company does not recognize you, your patients will. And that's the biggest reward.
Yeah.
Plus, the other thing is, don't think that everybody will be as kind as you, as good-hearted as you, as soft-spoken as you, or as intelligent as you.
Yeah.
However, that should not change you. Then you are giving some people who you don't even know powers to change how you behave in this world and how you are perceived in this world. So let people behave badly with you. You still stay good with them. Don't give them that power. That's a lot of power in their hands to change you. Yeah. So that's the one thing we should remember. And people will do that in corporate. People will try again and again to change you. Yeah. The idea is how do you not change and stick true to the job that you have taken in hand.
Okay. I think we need a lot of people like that to have that courage to be there, not change themselves and do their jobs perfectly, and need not avoid it, rather be there in the forefront. Yes, very important. I think what I take up from this conversation is that if we want optometry and eye care to develop in our country, in India, we need not refrain from not doing it, rather getting into it, getting yourself done, be at the ground and be the change what you want to see outside. So
Absolutely. If I may add to that, imagine if you really want optometrists to be recognized in this country,
yeah,
who is going to give that recognition to you?
we
The
want,
patients or the customers,
yeah.
right? That these are the professionals you can go to for eye care advices, and they will give you the best of advices. So who is going to give it to you is the patient and the customer, and not your corporate bosses.
Agree.
So how do you take care of your patient and customer is something which is very, very important. And they will be the one who will talk about optometry, will talk about optometrists, and optometrist will get the recognition over a period of time if you are into that service
Yeah.
of serving your patient and your customer.
So, being at the forefront, be the change you want to see, and be grounded, be humble, be kind, and develop your skills. Grow as a flower grows. So, from saying that, I have we come towards the end of our podcast, and we want to hear an inspiring poem from your Eiffel book just published, and you will get it on Amazon.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
And probably the only poem I want to read out from this book is something which is very, very serious as well as very, very intimidating as well, which talks about depression. We all have been through that. Even I have been through that, even with such a positive outlook of my life. And that's why I wanted to share this poem with you, which is called as Depression. And it goes with my experience of depression. So I had heard the term and had read about it. I know it is hard to handle. I know it is hard to beat. Yet it got me once. The dreaded thing called depression. It's hard to explain. It leaves a very nasty impression. The feeling of sinking, losing one's confidence, hopelessness and anxiety, grieving over every incident. If you are ever hit by it, time is what you have to give. Cling on to the loved ones, explore options to overcome grief. It will go away. Of that I am sure. Keep up the fight and hang on right. Because patience and positivity are the only cure. So that's probably one poem I wanted to read out. Depression is a reality of the society. You might get it even on the best of your times. Please give it time. Talk to somebody. Go to your loved ones, and relive your life. Don't skunk or succumb to depression over a period of time.
Yeah, I think this is the need of the hour. Thank you for the wonderful poem and being um, so honest with your answers. So I remember when you started with and how inspiring it was and your journey for all our optometrists and all our viewers listening to us. So we are going to be inspired, motivated, and and definitely be optimistic in our approach. Thank you all of you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
For
much.
being such a wonderful
Oh, thank you
guest.
for this opportunity.